doesn't come to fruition too. Molly.
It is an area that floods really easily. I mean, Houston can see flooding from just a few thunderstorms, and this is just not your run-of-the-mill summer thunderstorms. Let's talk timing. Today, 2 thumbs up in Houston. I mean, it's going to be hot, but it usually is in the summertime. And we could see a few scattered showers. Same deal for Monday, but Tuesday things start to change. We see more of that tropical moisture that's streaming in. Galveston, the I-10 corridor, Beaumont, even over to Lake Charles, which we'll talk about in a minute. But it doesn't stop throughout the day on Tuesday. So we're bringing in more moisture consistently. There's no time really for the ground and some of the drainage systems to recover. And we're putting more rain on top of that. And not to mention, it's saturated in southeastern Texas. I mean, think about all the flooding we had just a month ago in early May. We haven't had a lot of time to recover from that, and now we're putting more rain on top of that. Now, New Orleans, both of the models are looking a little more optimistic for you, as you're not going to see quite as much rain, but still warrants watching as we go throughout the week, because if we see that tropical moisture start to shift back to the east, that would put New Orleans more in the zone for heavier rain, and we could easily see flooding in New Orleans just from a few training thunderstorms. Now, Lake Charles, you're in the middle of that, and you will likely see some heavier rain coming through starting on Monday evening, but even continuing throughout the day on Tuesday, with a big focus of it being just to the south and just to the west of Lake Charles. But it'll continue to move in and put rounds of rain, and it'll add up in pretty quick order for many of us in Lake Charles, but also Houston, southeastern Texas, Conroe, Liberty, many areas that have seen a lot of flooding as of late. Now down to the Corpus Christi area and Brownsville, where it has been roasting hot as of late. We're going to see some showers, which of course will help cool us down, but most of the rain is going to be just to your north. This is very similar to what we were seeing in New Orleans, where it warrants watching, also warrants watching in Mobile, but you're a lot further east to this tropical moisture than, say, in a place like New Orleans. Lynette, welcome into Weekend Recharge. I'm meteorologist Molly McCollum.
And I'm meteorologist Lynette Charles. And America's Father's Day weekend depends on the weather. And at this point, we just want to wish all the fathers out there, past, present, and future, a happy Father's Day.
And all the father figures out there, too. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We want to slide right into our Sunday snapshot, because many of us are dealing with the heat on this Father's Day. I know our very own. And good Sunday. Welcome into Weekend Recharge. Happy Father's Day. I'm meteorologist Molly McCollum.
And I'm meteorologist Lynette Charles. And America's Father's Day weekend depends on the weather. And I want to give out a shout out to all the fathers out there, past, present, and future. My father's passed, but he was one of the greats.
I might be a little bit biased, but my husband is a great dad. My dad is a great dad.
I get it.
Happy Father's Day to everyone out there, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. We want to take you right to our Sunday snapshot, starting with the heat.
Ooh, yeah, let's check
more tropical moisture work its way into a place like Biloxi, Mobile, New Orleans, and of course, Houston. Now, Houston, I think, is going to be the focus of most of this disturbance that Lynette was talking about. Could it become a tropical system or not? It does not matter. We're going to see rain either way. And the rain, we're good today. Great for Father's Day plans. Tomorrow, more showers in the afternoon. Very classic summertime in Houston. Then we kind of ramp it up a notch when we bring all this tropical moisture in starting on Tuesday. And once it starts raining, we have to get out of this tropical moisture to see any kind of relief. And by Tuesday evening, still extremely heavy rain. Houston, the Woodlands, Conroe, Liberty, which have seen more than enough rain as of late. We go back to late April, early May. That's when we had a lot of that devastating flooding across the greater Houston area, especially just north of downtown. We could see more of that if some of this comes to fruition. Now, this is the European model, and it shows 3 to 5 inches of rain just south of Houston for Galveston, a little bit farther to the south, just south of Freeport, maybe even 5 to 8. But the American model, totally different solution. So right now we're seeing some big disagreements on the intensity of some of this tropical moisture. But I will say this. We had a very similar situation in Florida last week, and the European model was very conservative. The American model was throwing out these huge totals. And who was right? It was the American model. So we'll have to see how things unfold. But of course, this solution right here would paint a very dangerous situation for flash flooding in the greater Houston area. New Orleans, you have tropical rain today. You have downpours moving in. Now we can see flooding in New Orleans in just typical afternoon thunderstorm. And we're going to see several of those Monday. But when we get into Tuesday, when all of that tropical moisture is moving into Texas from what could be a system, maybe not, we're going to be watching that. That stays to the west of New Orleans. And so that keeps us out of the extremely heavy rain that even puts focus on Lake Charles as well. So the differences in the models right now, not too much in the New Orleans area, 2 to 3 inches of rain. That's the European model. Pretty similar when we look at the American model, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. And so at least we'd like to see agreement there. Last stop here, I want to take you into Lake Charles, the I-10 corridor. What a mess it's going to be for you this week, traveling between New Orleans, Lake Charles, Beaumont down to Houston. Heavy downpours moving through, the kind of downpours that are very difficult to drive through, where visibility drops and, you have to give a lot of distance between you and the car in front of you. By Wednesday morning, finally, we're out of more of this tropical moisture. Once again, differences in the models. European model on the lower end, the American model putting out higher totals. Lynette, still some details to work out, but we know that heavy rain is on the way for some of the Gulf Coast states.
Yeah, heavy rain there, but we actually have been
Recharge rolls on. I'm Molly McCollum.
And I'm Lynette Charles. Paul Goodlow is enjoying Father's Day off, and June we know is for dads. It's also the start of hurricane season, and right on cue, we have some development.
We do. We have one area in the Gulf, one that is by the Bahamas, and the area in the Gulf could end up impacting Houston. It's already waterlogged.
Yes, so we're going to continue to watch.